Back at it again. Haiti Biz News Show, Monday to Friday, bringing you news that's going to keep you informed, engaged, and reacting in the most optimal way for your business, investment, entrepreneurial activity. Today is the 15th of April. Let's talk about it. So we have a very good piece to share with you guys. It's the Digicel Foundation. I did an event last week or the week prior that was very encouraging. They put aside $10,000 to find entrepreneurs, small businesses, social entrepreneurs as well, doing the things in the different departments. There's 10 departments in Haiti, and so at the very least they had one for each department. The first year they did it, this is the second annual. The first year they did it, they had 11. Now this year they had 16, okay? And they, out of a very large list of candidates, I think at some point, there's the first initial round of candidates, I don't know, 72 candidates, and they had to whittle it down to 16. The event happened in the Marriott, and I had the opportunity to be there, to attend. It was very last minute, and I didn't necessarily have an idea of how potentially I could have shot this for a Seejeanty episode, but hopefully when there is a third annual, and I have a little bit of additional notice, hopefully I can figure some way out to bring you guys inside and see how the event was. I did live stream it, so it's very important that you follow me on Seejeanty Facebook and IG, and you get that sort of behind the scene content as it's happening, right? So we have the list of companies that were a part of this and who won ran the gamut. We had some companies that were or ventures that were building latrines along riversides. That's one of the reasons why the cholera outbreak happened, and it was so effective, was that a lot of folks use restroom facilities along riversides, and then that the disease then spreads in the water, and then goes on and continues. So there was a group that was building latrines along riversides. There was another group that was building latrines in open markets. And same thing, open markets generally are well facilitated. There's not really places where folks can go to use a restroom. A lot of times they'll go to a nearby bush or et cetera and take care of their business there. And so the latrines being built allows a very high degree of sanitation to happen, which is absolutely necessary. We have agricultural cooperatives that were being constructed across the country. One notable one was a reforestation effort that also leveraged cash crops like cacao. And so as trees were being planted, they're also were being supported by these sort of cash crops that need shade, a degree of shade to grow. And so the hope here is that not only do you have reforestation that's happening across many hectares, but also you have a economic reason to have them exist that override the desire, the need of cutting them down for charbon, which is something folks use to, cook food and do a lot of different stuff. So certainly that was one that won. Another one was livestock. There's different initiatives for poultry growing and goat growing. And again, all about sustainability and how even if folks get this cash infusion, how is it going to last for many years? And that's another one that's extremely important. There's others that, for example, potable water. There was a department that the winners, their work was so important and so large and significant. They actually, it was announced that they won that award even a month to 2 months even before the actual ceremony, because the foundation felt that this work was so urgent, getting clean potable water to folks, denizens very far out in the province, that they couldn't wait. It was something that needed to be acted on and invested upon beforehand. And again, the sort of cistrine that was being developed by these guys were very, very top-notch stuff. It was a very large reservoir that was being built, and using the area's own system of rocks and the water flowing through rocks and naturally cleaning the water, in addition to doing an additional layer of very light organic chemical infusion, chlorine, etc., to help ensure that the water was indeed safe and drinkable for the folks there, and providing a way for them, for their buckets and their what they were using to carry the water to very easily be able to find that water to pour in. So again, it's great work, and they actually got their funding long before this event. So that was fantastic. And then there was also other things, for example, clinics that were being built by a Catholic mission. Actually, we're using the funds to help fund clinics within their department. And finally, we did have a local renewable energy initiative that was using solar panels and even actually the power of a river to sort of drive a turbine, a small turbine, and providing electricity to over 500 to 1,000 people within the area. And their goal was to use that money then to replicate this across their department. So those are the sort of things that are phenomenal, and being funded at the tune of $10,000 to these folks. And what's most important is that you have a very large company in Haiti leading that charge, a very large company that is taking serious the mission of social responsibility, but more importantly, doing it in a way that isn't just building a token school or doing a token project, but getting real money in the hands of real change makers to help drive a different and more positive future, and that is exceptional. Analysis. If you're doing a venture in Haiti, I highly suggest that at some point, once your business stabilizes, to open up a not-for-profit arm for two reasons. First, it's the right thing to do, right? You want to be able to do an initiative because Haiti needs so much, and whatever you do is going to provide an incredible benefit to the folks in that area where you do it. So just because it's the right thing to do, it's a good thing to always keep back in your mind. Okay, well, I'm making money now on my venture, but now how do I give back to the community that I'm in to help again drive that change? But secondly, there's just a bottom line reason for it, which is there's a lot of social initiative funding that goes on in Haiti, as we know, right? One of the things I'm trying to push away from is moving the country away from a charity narrative to a more business narrative, right? But nonetheless, the ecosystem of finance in Haiti is very much mature for charity. And so if you build a foundation, certainly you can know that it's much easier to get funding for those sort of ideas than it is for a true for-profit. So it is a good way to, you don't want to touch that money, right? You want to keep that money directly for that not-for-profit. But it is a good alternative way to provide change that, if you structure it the right way, it could potentially help your private business. Here's an example. I'm aware of a manufacturer that they build custom furniture pieces, right? And that's their profit arm. But in addition, they created a foundation to actually help teach folks how to build furniture, and not just in general, but then also how to set up their own businesses, repairing and building furniture. But the benefit here is that the not-for-profit received, charity funding, which is great. But the cool thing was they were actually able to then turn around and hire some of these folks directly into their businesses. A good percentage of their top students were able to be hired directly, and now you have a sort of pipeline of trained folks who you trained, and now have a skill set, and now you're able to hire some of them, and the others that you couldn't hire, again, they now have a skill set that they can potentially use to feed themselves, their family, and drive some economic development, right? So it's a win-win-win-win-win across all boards, right? So that's sort of synergy that you should definitely need to consider when in Haiti and doing business, because it just makes sense, right? So I think that wraps up this episode. As you know, we're here Monday to Friday. We're always sharing news, sharing strategies, most importantly, in terms of how to see how to win in the Haitian market. So if you like what I'm doing, give it a like. If you think there's someone else who could benefit from these news stories every day, share it with them, right? And if you want to stay informed, you know what to do. Hit that big red button, subscribe, maybe even that notification button, so you can get that on your phone as soon as it drops. And you know what? Until tomorrow, until the next day, we'll be back at it again.